Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another calm and collected Blue Mountain morning. I'm Mark, joined as always by my friend Alex.
Hey there, beautiful people. It's Tuesday, April 1st, and I am ridiculously excited to be here with you all. Is it just me, or does the air feel extra fresh today?
It's definitely a perfect morning to pause and breathe before diving into the day ahead.
Totally. Like the quietest moment before a waterfall, you know? When everything just makes sense for a second.
That's exactly what we're here for, to help you find that moment of clarity before your day unfolds. Let's dive into today's horizon, our quick rundown of what's happening in the news.
Oh man, this is where I get to feel like a proper journalist, right? Like, breaking news, people.
Exactly. First up, the White House has officially closed its investigation into that signal message mishap where Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg was accidentally added to a high-level chat discussing Yemen strikes.
Wait, so they're just done with it, just like that?
According to Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, and I quote, "This case has been closed here at the White House as far as we are concerned. They've apparently taken steps to ensure something like this won't happen again."
I would hope so. I mean, I've accidentally added my mom to group chats before, but those were just about weekend plans, not, military operations.
Next up, the Democratic Party has asked a U.S. court to block President Trump's recent executive order on elections. They're arguing that his changes to the election system could potentially deny eligible citizens their right to vote.
Politics, politics, politics. It's always something, isn't it? I swear I get whiplash trying to keep up sometimes.
In lighter news, well, sort of, President Trump signed an executive order targeting ticket scalping.
Oh, I actually care about this one. Concert tickets are insane these days.
He was joined in the Oval Office by Kid Rock, of all people, as he signed what he called a very serious order designed to protect fans from having to pay crazy prices for tickets.
Kid Rock in the Oval Office, that's a sentence I never thought I'd hear, but I mean, if it makes my next concert ticket cheaper, I'm here for it.
In more concerning news, Politico is reporting that tens of millions of dollars is being withheld from Planned Parenthood chapters across the U.S. This appears to be an attempt by the Trump administration to force clinics to change their operations.
That's going to affect a lot of people who rely on those services, right?
Absolutely. And finally, in a strange development, the Institute of Museum and Library Services has placed its entire staff on administrative leave.
The entire staff? Like everyone?
Yes, all 70 employees. This is a federal agency that provides grant funding to museums and libraries nationwide. Staff were notified by email after a brief meeting between DOGE staff and IMLS leadership had to turn in government property and their email accounts were disabled.
That sounds extremely dramatic and kind of terrifying if you worked there. Imagine showing up to a meeting and then suddenly being told, "Thanks, now hand over your laptop and go home."
It's definitely unusual, and there's no clear explanation yet for why this happened.
The world keeps getting weirder, doesn't it? Every single day.
That's why we're here, to help make sense of it all. Now it's time for Ripple Effects, where we take a deeper look at a topic affecting Americans. Today, we're exploring something that's heating up in more ways than one: the strange cultural battle over home energy.
Wait, are we talking about the gas stove thing? Because my mom called me in a panic saying the government was coming for her stove, and I was like, "Mom, please, it's too early for conspiracy theories."
That's exactly it, Alex. What started as energy efficiency considerations has somehow morphed into one of the most unexpected cultural battlegrounds in American politics, from gas stoves to heat pumps.
I still don't understand how appliances became political. My coffee maker doesn't have a voting record, last I checked.
It's fascinating, really. Just last year, we saw that viral moment when a Consumer Product Safety Commissioner suggested a potential ban on gas stoves due to health concerns about indoor air pollution.
And then suddenly, everyone lost their minds. I remember seeing politicians posting photos cooking on their gas stoves like they were freedom fighters or something.
Right. What began as a discussion about nitrogen dioxide and childhood asthma quickly transformed into heated debates about government overreach and personal freedom.
So wait, was the government actually trying to ban gas stoves? Because I've got one and I'm kind of attached to it. I mean, you can't get that same sear on a steak with electric, can you?
That's the thing. There was never actually a formal proposal to ban existing gas stoves. The discussion was more about potential regulations for new appliances, but the narrative took on a life of its own.
Classic internet outrage machine at work.
Exactly. But this extends beyond just stoves. Heat pumps have become another flashpoint. The Biden administration had been pushing them as an energy-efficient alternative to traditional heating and cooling systems.
Okay, I'll admit, I have no idea what a heat pump actually is. Is it like a sexy furnace or something?
Not quite. Think of it as a super efficient two-way air conditioner that can both heat and cool your home by transferring heat rather than generating it.
That actually sounds pretty cool. Or warm? Both, I guess?
Both. And they typically use much less energy than conventional systems. But here's where it gets interesting. The Trump administration has signaled they'll roll back incentives for heat pumps, positioning them as another example of forced electrification.
So what you're saying is heat pumps are now, what, liberal appliances? Do conservatives just not want efficient heating? I'm so confused.
It's more that they've become symbols in a larger debate about energy independence, consumer choice, and climate action. For many conservatives, it's about resisting what they see as government mandates.
And for progressives?
For them, it's about addressing climate change through everyday choices. The average American home contributes significantly to our national carbon footprint. About 20% of U.S. greenhouse gas emissions come from homes.
Ugh, why does everything have to be so complicated? I just want to cook my pasta without having an existential crisis about the fate of the planet.
And that's exactly what makes this so challenging for consumers. These appliances represent major investments. A new heating system can cost thousands of dollars. And now people feel pressure to make these choices based on political alignment rather than what works best for their homes.
So what does this mean for average homeowners? Like, should I be worried about my gas stove being ripped from my cold, dead hands?
No, you can keep your existing stove. But this polarization could affect the options available to you in the future, as well as their costs. Depending on which policies prevail, we might see different incentives or restrictions shaping the market.
I never thought I'd see the day when my kitchen appliances would be more politically divisive than my social media posts.
It speaks to a broader trend we're seeing across American society, the politicization of everyday life. From the cars we drive to the energy powering our homes, consumer choices are increasingly seen as political statements.
Is there any way out of this madness? Like, can we just go back to choosing appliances based on, I don't know, whether they actually work well?
That's the million-dollar question. What's interesting is that when you remove the political framing, many of these technologies have broad appeal. Heat pumps, for instance, can save homeowners money in the long run while also being more environmentally friendly.
So maybe the solution is to just stop talking about them as climate tech or government mandates and instead focus on their practical benefits?
That might be a start. Energy experts often suggest that focusing on efficiency, cost savings, and performance rather than environmental benefits can help bridge the political divide.
Well, until then, I guess I'll just keep my opinions about my toaster oven to myself. No need to start a civil war over breakfast.
Probably wise. At the end of the day, these are important decisions that affect both our daily comfort and our collective impact on the environment. They deserve thoughtful consideration beyond partisan reactions.
If only we could generate electricity from political hot air, we'd solve the energy crisis overnight.
And now it's time for the morning whisper. You know, I was walking through the park yesterday morning when I noticed something remarkable. The dew on the grass caught the first light of day, turning each blade into its own tiny prism of light.
Oh, here comes the nature poetry, but actually, I'm kind of into it today. Go on.
Well, it made me think about how often we overlook these small moments of beauty because we're rushing through our days. We're so focused on where we're going that we miss where we are.
I'm definitely guilty of that. Half the time, I'm walking while staring at my phone and nearly crashing into people.
Today, I'd invite our listeners to try something simple. Just once today, pause whatever you're doing. Take 3 deep breaths and notice 5 things around you that you'd normally overlook.
Like what? The dust on my bookshelf that I've been ignoring for weeks?
That counts? Or maybe the pattern of light on your wall, the sound of birds outside, or even just the sensation of your feet touching the ground.
I actually did this yesterday while waiting for my coffee to brew. Instead of checking my phone, I just stood there. It was weirdly nice, also slightly terrifying to be alone with my thoughts.
That's exactly it. These small moments of presence can be like little anchors throughout our day, bringing us back to ourselves when the news cycle or work stress pulls us away. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Blue Mountain Morning. Thanks so much for joining us and starting your day with us.
Yeah, seriously, thank you all. And if you enjoyed the show, please tell literally everyone you know about it. Your friends, your family, that person next to you on the subway. Actually, maybe not them, that might be weird.
What Alex is trying to say is that word of mouth really helps us grow.
And don't forget to email us at bluemountainmorningpodcast@gmail.com if you want a shout out on the show. We love hearing from you guys.
Just a reminder that this is our last episode of the week. Alex and I will be taking a few days off to recharge.
Yeah, Mark's going hiking or something healthy like that. I'll be binge-watching shows and questioning my life choices.
Whatever works for you, Alex. We'll be back next week with more news, insights, and hopefully a slightly more centered Alex.
Don't count on it. But seriously, thanks for listening, everyone. See you next week on Blue Mountain Morning.